Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Anissa Vocational High School, allow me to extend a warm welcome to you. I'm Elmarti Merrika Desriah Kardiman. I'm here to give a presentation about expressions used by the pharmacist at drugstore. Okay, the purpose of this presentation is to explain about expressions used by the pharmacist at drugstore. My presentation will be divided into three parts. First, expression used by the pharmacist at drugstore. Second is the difference between generic drugs and brand drugs. And the third is conclusion. Please feel free to ask during presentation. Okay, now to begin with, I'm going to talk about is expressions used by the pharmacist at drugstore. The first one is hello, how can I help you? In bahasa halo, apa yang bisa saya bantu? The second one is pharmacist. Sure, let me see well. I guess we have all medicine written on your prescription. In bahasa, tentu saja. Izinkan saya melihatnya. Saya rasa semua obat yang dituliskan dalam resepnya ada. Next, pharmacist. Okay, please wait a moment. Let me get them for you. In bahasa, okay, tolong tunggu sebentar. Saya mengambilnya untukmu. Next, pharmacist. Here are the medicine. In bahasa, ini obatnya. Next, pharmacist. You need to take this one 3 times a day after meal. In bahasa, Anda harus meminum obat yang ini 3 kali sehari setelah makan. Next, pharmacist. That's fine. In bahasa, tidak apa-apa. Next, soon in a few days, you will feel much better. In bahasa, segera, dalam beberapa hari, Anda akan merasa jauh lebih baik. Next, those are antibiotics. You need to take them 3 times a day after meal. You have to finish them all. In bahasa, yang itu adalah antibiotik. Anda harus meminumnya 3 kali sehari setelah makan. Anda harus menghabiskan semuanya. Next, pharmacist. Sure, take 1 or 2 of these every 7 hours up to 3 times a day. In bahasa, pastikan mengambil 1 atau 2 dari ini setiap 7 jam hingga 3 kali sehari. Next, pharmacist. No problem. In bahasa, tidak masalah. Next, pharmacist. Is there anything else I can help you with? In bahasa, ada lagi yang bisa saya bantu? Next, pharmacist. The total is all 155,000 sir. In bahasa, total semuanya adalah 155.000 rupiah, Pak. Next, pharmacist. Here are the check 45,000 and the receipt. I hope you get well soon. In bahasa, ini kembalian 45.000 dan seterusnya. Saya harap Anda lekas sembuh. Next, pharmacist, you're welcome. In bahasa, sama-sama. In the next, pharmacist, thank you for coming to our drugstore. In bahasa, terima kasih sudah datang ke toko obat kami. Let's move on to the difference between generic drugs and brand drugs. The example of generic drugs and brand drugs. Example of generic drugs is mefenamic acid. The example of brand drugs is Buffet ibuprofen. Next, the difference between generic drugs and brand drugs. Difference. First, naming and manufacture. Generic drugs adjust to the content of active substance and can be produced by all pharmaceutical companies. Brand drugs, patent drugs adjust to the wishes of pharmaceutical companies and can only be produced by companies that have patents. Second is the packaging. The packaging design for generics is simple and has a generic logo. Brand drugs. For patent medicine, the packaging design is in accordance with the wishes of the patent owner. And the third is price. Generic drugs. The price of generic drugs is relatively cheap because it is packaged simply and does not require promotion costs. Brand drugs. Patent medicines are packaged at high price because they require fees for patenting, research, promotion, and packaging. Okay, now I'd like to conclude that I explained about the expression of the pharmacist to the patient, and also I explained about the types of generic drugs and brand drugs and their difference. Okay, that's all about my presentation. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.